Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And this is transfer deadline day, and you're joined with Solo and Rebel for the latest transfer updates.
Well, that was
Hello,
different.
everyone. That was very different. Wow. What happened there? No idea. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Could not tell you what happened there. But anyway, guys, it is transfer deadline day. And if you're new to the channel, just give us a like, share, and subscribe. All subscribes mean so much to us because it means the channel can reach a target of 2.5k subscriber within the next few weeks. So, as always, Rebel, so how are you feeling? How are you doing, sir? And how is this transfer window going for you so far?
Well, we can speak briefly on United shortly, but I'm just astounded at the level of actual deals around the Premier League that's going through today. There's absolute madness going on at Leeds. Chelsea seem to be doing everything they can to sign people from left, right, and centre. Arsenal are dipping into the water. City are dipping into the water. Liverpool are dipping into the water. And, of course, Manchester United, hopefully, will be dipping into the water because if all the other clubs are doing work, then we clearly need to be doing work too to match them. But it's been an exciting window. I think Antony is probably going to be one that's going to catch the imagination. His flair is absolutely going to be a different level for us. And I think Ten Hag has confirmed that he's going to be on the right, unsurprisingly. So I imagine that means then that Sancho will be permanently on the left.
Yeah. But then also you got to remember as well, both of them they can switch, can't they? So you remember back in the days when you had Nani, Ronaldo, and Rooney, and basically they keep moving like to confuse the defense. So that could be a major factor as well. And it did work back then under Ferguson, even though we're talking about donkeys years ago. But you know, some of us still live in the past, Rebel. I have to live in the past a little bit to sort of it get me exciting because the Antony deal, was it on? Was it off? Was it on? Was it off? And then all of a sudden, Antony went on strike, and then next thing you know, Manchester United now has got Antony, and it is a record. I think is it the third biggest transfer record for Manchester United, and also the biggest deadline day transfer as well in the Premier League.
Is it technically deadline day? I suppose it is because it's a registration. But yes, it's a phenomenal investment in a player that has been seen as a target by Ten Hag since he joined us from Ajax. So definitely a player that is going to be eye-catching. But something that has struck me actually is the amount of Brazilians that are actually coming in this window. Obviously, we saw Rafinha leave for Barcelona, but Melo, Arthur Melo is joining Liverpool on a season-long loan, Brazilian international midfielder. So in reality, there could be half the World Cup squad for Brazil in the Premier League. And watching their flair is always something that's going to enhance the product that is the football games that we will be watching. So very much looking forward to seeing Antony strutty stuff. I notice a lot of rival fans are making a lot of, but he's only had so many goals and so many assists in the Eredivisie, and you've overpaid and the blah blahs. But the reality is the market conditions dictate, and Ten Hag knows this chap better than any other person at the club. He was working with him day in, day out, and I believe at one point City were looking to secure a move for him back when he was in Brazil, and it was going to come with a 12-month loan to Sporting, but he felt at the time that he wasn't ready for that type of a move. He kept his powder dry, and look where he is now.
Yeah, and with him as well, I don't know if people have seen it, but it's something where he wanted desperately. How many times do we have to say that? A lot of players come to Manchester United due to the fact of money. They're not really there for playing for the badge. It's basically just to generate. But with a player like him going on strike, putting his feet down and say, you know what, I want to go to Manchester. You know, I want to help them rebuild the brand of Manchester United to take them to the next level, like what he said in his interview. I think for me, that just shows his desire to come to Manchester United rather than it's coming just for money, even though he's now the most expensive player that have signed from that league, from the Dutch league.
Absolutely, yeah. He made it quite clear that he wanted Ajax to deal with Manchester United in respect to this transfer, and he's after starting a bit of a tidal wave in Ajax, where Martinez and one other player have now also tried to do the same tactic to arbitrate for their desired moves. So he has been somewhat of a poster boy and a blueprint in that front, but his desire has been absolutely paramount to join Manchester United. And interestingly, I think they were saying in various articles that Manchester United now can field a starting 11 that can speak Portuguese or Spanish.
Yeah. And with it as well, and where did all this money come from? Because obviously, guys, get involved in the conversation as well. With this one as well, Rebel, we've been pulling our hairs out. When you hear Rabiot, the likes of Rabiot, when you hear the likes of Arnautovic coming to the club, when you hear, and it's almost like, you go to Poundland and you pulling out the sort of like, the pound sweets and everything for a pound. And that's what Manchester, rather than going to sort of like a Marks and Spencers and trying to get the quality sweets, we're going Poundland and shopping in Poundland. And then all of a sudden we've gone from Marks and Spencer's level straight to sort of Selfridges out of nowhere.
Interestingly, I think Ten Hag addressed that recently in that he was saying that Manchester United as a club had to reevaluate its spending policy and its budget in accordance to the market, and that was the reaction that we've seen in terms of the outlay for our two Brazilians, Casemiro and Antony, is as a direct result of that altering in course. I think that they've taken us, that Antony deal being confirmed takes what, 210, 220 million pounds,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So you got to wonder how much is left in the tank, if anything, for a deadline day move, because we've had quite a substantive output, and I know rival fans, they're obsessed with, oh, but look at the net spend, as if, that is the one and only market that dictates your business for the summer. Look, in a well-organised club, we absolutely accept there should be...
Can you sit there, Rebel? I'm going to interrupt you straight away. As you said it, ready? Arsenal fan. This is Arsenal Football Club have spent more money than Man United in the last 2 seasons. And all of a sudden now this is where the banter is coming from. Now we spent loads of money again, but net spend last season was under 60 million. The season before that, under 60 million again. So it's, like you said earlier, Rebel, rival fan will sit there and say that Man United have spent this and Man have spent that. But if we go into the spendage quickly, just say, for instance, obviously we had United complete the deals for Tyrell. We've got Ericsson on a free. Martinez, a player that apparently Arsenal fans, they didn't want him because he wasn't good enough. The butcher, should I say. Casemiro, Antony, and obviously we've got Dubravka as well, seems coming in on a free. Would you say this is probably the best transfer window we've had in a long time?
Well, I think it's the best transfer window from the perspective that we seem to be buying footballers that can improve the squad for a change. I'm just going to touch on what a comment that's linked to what the Silver one was saying to us, and this is money from the Glazer panic account. Well, I would say it's not so much money from the Glazer panic account, but money that the Glazers are allowing the club to spend that belongs to the club because of the fact that they are worried that their commercial deals that they worked so hard on could be impacted by us not making Champions League next year. But look at the players that we signed. Malacia, I think for everyone, has been out of nowhere. Nobody was talking about him. Nobody was expecting it. And he just arrived up, 15 million. Thanks very much. Job done. And he could be a little gem and could be one of the signings of the season.
100%, 14.5 million or something, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's an absolute pittance for a starting wing back at this point, especially if they can deliver the consistency of performance that we've seen so far, because he just seems to display a lot of heart, a lot of determination, a lot of drive. And as the defensive unit actually as a whole seems to have gotten a bit of steel about it, because you see the way they react when they do their jobs. They're slapping each other on the back. They're driving each other to hit those levels on and on and on. And I'm going to have to give Arsenal a lot of credit in the business that they've done over the last 2 seasons, because it looked like, again, that they had a similar issue to us in regards to Frenkie, that their owners were tying a hand behind their back. They went about last year, they quietly did their business. They brought in Ramsdale, they brought in the likes of Ben White and a few others, and they ticked along and probably were a January window of getting a few players in away from being in the Champions League last season. They've then backed that up this season with making further investments in the likes of Jesus, Zinchenko, etc. And I think they're trying to do more business today. So what the blueprint that they have done with their money has been quite impressive. And this season, and for the first season in a long time, I'm able to say Manchester United bought players that are capable of delivering on pitch. We made signings over the last 10 years under Woodward that were solely based on their commercialization. Players that might not necessarily have wanted to be there, but took a bumper paycheck to come to Manchester United because they were sold on the, look, you might not like it here, you get a ton of money, you're going to make our owners a ton of money, and that's your job done. So, but I think Casemiro, Antony, Martinez, Eriksen, they've all proven to be quite decent business for us.
Quick one as well. Hi Jordan, all the way from Jamaica as well. Mark's in the chat as well, all from Australia as well. Big up, guys. We will go through some of these comments in a minute. But Silver Fox here, one of our own, we call him because he's part of what we do behind the scenes and everything. He's saying obviously Malaysias has been our best signing. I don't agree with that at all. I don't know what you think though, Rebel, but I sit there and I think there's a couple of outstanding players who we signed. I think Eriksen has been fantastic. I also think Malaysia has been very good as well, but also Martinez has been immense as well. So, like what Rebel said earlier, the back four now looks solid in my opinion, with the addition of Malaysia and Martinez, but also Eriksen in that role as well.
I would agree entirely with you, and I suppose the point that Silver Fox is making is one that gives a lot of pause for thought. Eriksen being free and Malaysia being far and away one of the cheapest signings this window for amongst all transfers that have been done, because there's been some absolutely phenomenal fees being paid out, do suggest that we've got value there. But I think what we have to bear in mind is we were dealing with Ajax solo, and when you're going back to a club that you've taken the manager from, it's always going to be a bitter pill to swallow for them to release players to you, because they're going to want the premium, because they're thinking, well, they're using inside information to take our gems. We're going to make them pay for it.
Okay, so guys, we're just going to go through. I'm going to get Rebel to go through some of these comments, because what we're going to do is we're going to bounce back and answer some of the comments, and then afterwards I'm going to probably give Rebel this part, because I think with the Jong deal, I think that's still going. I reckon there's a possibility something might happen and we might get Jong. I think, I'm not saying it is, but Rebel has got quite a lot of scoop about the Jong, and he'll probably go through a bit more. So Rebel, would you mind doing some of these comments, please?
No problem at all. Let's take the one that's on screen, actually, as you have it highlighted. And he was saying about Martinez being quiet against Brentford. Actually, if you look back at the tail of the tape, he actually won his aerial duels. As a whole, Manchester United didn't play well. We allowed far too much open space and we got punished for it. But I don't think you can hang the cap of fault on Martinez on his own. And if you look at who was beside him that day, he hasn't been in the starting 11 since. So you may have to cast some aspersions in that regard, but I'm sure we might get some bit of advancement out of Harry after that. But let's roll back to, we have the man from down under, Mr. Mark Edmond is here. He's saying Arsenal fans don't live in reality. I'm not going to touch that one, Mark. We have to be very nice to our brethren in the Army TV. Mark is also saying that Antony will score on his debut and sink the Gooners. So he's been very bold with the immediate impact of Antony. Silver One is absolutely saying that Malacia has been a bargain signing, and he's also saying, Mark, if Antony doesn't score against us, I'll be looking for you. So, interestingly, there's a bit of banter going on there in the chat in that regard. Colin is saying, I'd argue Martinez has been our best signing at the moment. Mark is having it over and back with Silver Fox. And Bill is saying, if we didn't have Ten Hag as chief scout, we would be effed. And finally, FC United forever. As I said previously, and this is how United did it, Woodward put £200 million in transfer from Red Football LLC, United's parent company. They borrowed another £200 million from the Bank of America, goes on to United's account. So basically, debt increasing.
Flex is asking that as well.
How are you, Flex? How are you doing? Guys, do you think Ten Hag will rotate the squad? I think over the course of the season, he's going to have to rotate the squad. He's going to have to involve Luke Shaw. He's going to have to involve Maguire and Lindelof. He's going to have to involve McFred and all the other players. Unfortunately for us at the moment, Anthony Martial does seem to have a problem with keeping fit, and he's been suffering a few injuries. So hopefully we can get that sorted so that he can form. And Mr. Vincent Bullock, take a note of the pronunciation there on Monday. He's not Vincent Bollocks, he's Vincent Bullock.
Big up, welcome, guys. Guys, just get your thoughts in. So far, at the transfer window, who is probably the best signing we've done, and who do you think? I've got my player this season. Who do you think your player this season will be? So let's go. So Rebel, Frenkie de Jong. Obviously, I think on the Man United agenda, I think there's only two people who actually goes on and really talk about this player. When Ten Hag came to the club, obviously, we believe his desire players was de Jong. De Jong was probably his priority. I also think as well with de Jong, I'm going to join. Matt's joining us as well. Hey, Matt, how you doing? You all right, mate?
I'm all good, thanks, Trevor. How are you?
Good. Welcome, and thank you for joining us as well. So at the moment, Matt, we're just going to go and talk about de Jong, and Rebel has got a few information about de Jong. So we'll see what Rebel has got to say, and then we'll just jump in when we can. Yeah, is that okay?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay.
So there's a report.
And also, sorry, Matt, when you not talk, just mute your mic here. Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Go on, Rebel.
No worries at all. So there are reports out there at the moment that the Frenkie de Jong deal or transfer saga that has pretty much swallowed up the media headlines throughout the summer is not yet dead. Obviously, this has been fueled by the fact that, he flew to London, he's been staying next to Manchester United's offices and all the rest of it. The reason why it's believed that this could still be possible is that there are reports that Manchester United have been in contact with his agent again today to see if they can get it done and to reaffirm that they are not yet finished in the market and can get it done should he give the nod. Now, looking at Manchester United's spending to date, you would have to say it would seem that it would be difficult to do that type of a deal. However, in the interim, we've had £15 million come in by way of a £9 million upfront payment from Garner, who's gone to Everton. We got another £100 million from T. Chong, who's gone to Birmingham today on a permanent transfer. And there's some very clever journalists saying, lads, does these transfers not come and look at you in the eye and say, that's the money that's owed to Frenkie, and that they never spent the pot that they'd agreed with Barcelona. Now, for me, although I'd love to see Frenkie de Jong in a Manchester United shirt, it's a difficult deal to get done, I'd imagine. There are certain journalists, one of them I think was from, I'm not sure, was he in the Telegraph or is he a freelancer, but he's been saying that the medical and the contract are all done. It's just a matter of the paperwork being finalised. So if he is right, he will become absolute god status amongst transfer sources. However, if he's wrong, he's going to be cast down into the mire and the pit and absolutely maligned. I think most Manchester United fans at this point have given up the hope of Frenkie de Jong. I don't think they believe it's realistic. And but you'd wonder what type of club lets a player leave midweek, knowing that they have a game this weekend, and of all destinations that he flies to for a break, he flies to London. Now, if this isn't transfer related, I think Frenkie de Jong will get the award for ultimate shithousery, because he will absolutely have sent the online world and journalists into meltdown. If he's seen walking past Manchester United's offices later on, even if he's just going for a walk, I can just imagine the frenzy.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Matthew as well, because Matthew, today from the Express, the Express quoted today that Manchester United still have hope in signing in Frenkie de Jong. Man United hold hopes of signing Barcelona midfield Frenkie de Jong, but the only issue is the Spanish club still owe him that 17 million. Is this a deal then, Matthew? That's actually like what a few people in the comments are saying, and also Rebel is saying as well. Is this finished now?
For me, Frenkie de Jong, it was finished a long time ago. It's definitely finished now. You look how late it is in the window. I'm not sure who this journalist is who keeps on saying that we're still going to get him. I don't think it's a credible journalist. I think realistically, we're probably looking at next year also. If we buy him, does that mean we're going into next year's budget? And how much of that is going to be taken up? We know what the Glazers are like firsthand. They're not going to overly spend in the way they have this summer. I think Frankie's there. I think just the fact that it was in London on a 2-day break, and everybody's kind of jumping to the conclusion that he's suddenly joining one of Manchester United or Chelsea, who he has been linked with. I personally don't see anything in it. I'll be very surprised if that's allowed to happen. As well as that, it's who do Barcelona bring in to replace him, and then who does the other player go, the other team get the third team in the conundrum. So over the summer, there's been a lot of talk of if Frenkie goes, Bernardo Silva comes to Barcelona to replace him. But then who replaces Bernardo Silva at Manchester City this late in the window? Will Bernardo Silva want to make that move this late in the window? Will Man City allow it? Will Barca allow him to go not getting a replacement in time? Highly unlikely this move's going to happen. I think a lot of journalists are just trying to put 2 and 2 together, putting Manchester United's name in there, trying to keep interest going for whatever reason. Obviously we're a big club, but Frankie's dead for me up until next summer at least. You also have to look at Frankie's position. He's had ample opportunity to leave Barcelona this summer, and he's always reiterated he wants to stay there. He's got no indication that he wants to move. It's always been, I'm at Barcelona, I'm happy here at Barcelona, I want to stay here at Barcelona. And he holds all the aces with regards to financial issues between him and Barcelona Football Club. So I personally don't see anything in it when it comes to Frenkie coming to Man United.
Yeah.
Can I
thanks for joining us all on Monday. Go on.
The back of that, just with regards to the scope of the squad, I don't think it's a question that Barcelona need a replacement, because it does seem that Frenkie de Jong has dipped down the pecking order and they have a lot of young talent there. So I think in that respect, I don't think it hinges on them getting a replacement so much. And the question of the budget, I think we've gone far in excess of that budget already at this point anyway. And I think all we're doing really is adding on to the loan value that Manchester United is on the hook for at this point. So if it's a question of how deep into next year's budget is the line that we have to cross, I don't think that would be a factor. But I think it's very late in the day, and getting something like this done is highly unlikely. There is a deal that we'll be talking about later on that I do think could be possible, but the Frenkie de Jong one, it will be absolutely headline blowing if we do it.
Yeah. Thanks as well, Amanda, joining us. With it, we're just talking about the Frenkie de Jong deal, and Matthew made some good points, and so did Rebel, regarding this whole thing with Frenkie de Jong. And I want to get your take on it as well, because my take, what I think is, and it is, I am agreeing with what the guys are saying. If we do sign Frenkie de Jong this season, that's going to eat into a massive chunk of our transfer budget come next season. And I don't think with eating into it, it's going to basically help us in the long run. I think what needs to happen is, if this is our transfer and it's finished now, let's work on the players we've got at the club this second, and then if we need Frenkie de Jong next season, we can bring him in. But we know he's going to be a marquee signing next season. Also, Frenkie de Jong, 3 games for Barcelona, been on the bench all 3 games on Monday.
Yeah, first thing I would say is I'm curious to know whether it was either Frenkie de Jong or Casemiro. Now that we've got Casemiro, is that the replacement for Frenkie de Jong, with the understanding he's not going to come to the club? On top of that, I would say I would love to have him at the club still, regardless of all the saga we've been through. We're now coming to the final 100 meters, and we're sprinting to the line. And as we can see, I just want to say afternoon to everyone out there. Afternoon to you, Matty, Rebel, and Solo. Great job you're doing on the channel. It's exciting time, especially for Man United Football Club. There still could be developments today, so it's great that you guys are putting some content out there. I think Frenkie de Jong, I know when you talk about finances, Rebel's the man to talk to about finances. And if he's saying that we're going to go into our budget, then I have to agree with him, because he's an expert when it comes to things like that. But I would love to have him at the club. I think he would fit in like a duck to water. Just beautiful player, someone that we do need. I still feel someone who's got that sort of ability to be press resistant, to bring the ball out, to play great football, to see passes, have that vision, that technique to drive away from people, to turn away from people. He's got it all. I love the way he plays football, and I think he's unique, and he would be a great addition to our club. If we did get him in, already people are getting excited about our form last couple of games, and we can see a lot of great play from which has been drilled in from the manager. If we get him in now, people might start talking about a title challenge, if not top 3, top 4, which I think is at the moment is realistic without Frenkie. So I'm really excited. I'm waiting. I'm going to be viewing all day, as well as viewing the game today against Leicester. I can't wait to hear what Rebel has to say. If there's any news pops up, I'll be grabbing my phone and say, what's going down, Rebel? What's going down? To find out what's going on, because Frenkie de Jong's the one I really would love to come in. And look, I know you said about finances, but it's about football. It's about what happens on the football pitch. The finances can be sorted out. We've got people paid a lot of money to, find resources for more money to come into the club. And we have spent a lot of money. We started off a bit of misery, but we come to the end of the window now. And I think most fans will be satisfied with what we've got so far. But this guy below me, Frenkie de Jong, Frenkie with an E, would bring the E for excitement and entertainment and make us ecstatic as well. So I'm looking forward to it. See what happens.
Yeah. Thank you. And we've got a few comments, but the latest news as well is Martinez has won the first Player of the Month award for Manchester United as well. So great performance for the last 3 games. So Rebel, we're going to go through some comments quickly. And let's go through some comments.
Just briefly on what Omundi was saying about Casemiro being the replacement. I don't think Casemiro was ever seen as that, in my opinion. I think that Casemiro and Antony's deals were as a direct reaction to the absolutely dismal performances in the opening 2 games, and the backlash that was given to Arnautovic and Rabiot, more so Arnautovic being one of the targets. So with regards to Casemiro, I think that was always going to be a deal that was done, not really taking into account that Frenkie de Jong was still seen as the #1 midfield target. And with regards to the money, I think we've already gone way past talking about the budgets, really. It's literally a case of Manchester United were planning to spend in the region of £200 million to £250 million in the last 2 weeks of the window. They have not yet hit that. And strangely enough, if they were to do the Frenkie de Jong deal, they would hit that. But the likelihood, and we're going to have to temper our expectation here, the likelihood of doing this deal, I think is slim. However, if we're sitting here after beating Leicester today with Frenkie de Jong walking in the doors of Carrington, then we will have a lot to talk about. But in regards to the comments, we'd like to welcome Colm as our new latest member.
Big up Colin.
Big up, Colin. Thank you, Colin.
MUFC is telling us we don't want Memphis back yet. We'll talk about Memphis because
We're going to talk about him next. Memphis is next.
I do have a bit of information about Memphis. Vincent Bullock, Mr. Omundi Juma. If the Young comes next year, it won't be a Glazier signing, maybe a surge in Sir Radcliffe. So again, I suppose there's a lot of speculation as to all this business being done. Is that to put the club in a player stock mind that is attractive and boost the price in respect of a sale? We'll have to wait and see. Mark says Casemiro was being worked on 2 weeks before he signed. Club moved on long ago. So Mark is saying that we've already forgotten about Frenkie. And Colin also agreeing there. Frankie's not happening. His position throughout the window hasn't changed. Now, there is conflicting reports as regards to what his position was whether his desire was to actually stay at Barcelona or whether his desire was to get paid what he's owed, because it is important to remember that he's also quite clearly and categorically saying he will not accept change of terms. Some media sources are saying that he has said that, but there's been no real top-tier source that's saying that Frenkie de Jong is willing to take the wage cut that would Barcelona necessitate to keep him at club. Emma Cave, one of the first ladies of the Man United agenda, is having a conversation with Vincent Bullock. I'm going to have to move on from that one because I do not know what that is in relation to. But hello, Emma. And Mark,
hello,
again,
Emma.
is it. Sorry, I am getting a bit of lag here on the comments, so bear with me. And Mark, for now, is saying, let's be honest, we got just what we need in the CDM, and a left-footed, right-sided winger. Eric Ten Hag is absolutely balling. Now, I am going to actually throw this question out to Mark and all those in the comments with respect to our right-back position. Obviously, we know that Dalot at this point has established himself on that in the first line. However, we are yet to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka in either pre-season or the season to date come in and perform in the same manner which Ten Hag expects. There was speculation that Aaron Wan-Bissaka was going to leave the club. However, the valuation that was being put on the table is believed not to have been palatable to the Glaziers, who wanted more back of their £50 million investment. However, you know, when you look at this, you really have to decide on the basis of the player and what they're worth, or making back your money. It seems that business and football were at cross purposes, and we lost an opportunity at loaning Dest as a result.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, 23 in the chat, give us a like and also a subscribe. Rebel, before we go on, we're going to talk about Memphis Depay, but what I want to do is I just want to give a quote to Matthew to get Matthew into the involved in the conversation as well, and then you can then give us the information you've got regarding Memphis Depay. Yeah. So, according to the report, Man United so far spent over 200 million this summer in a transfer window. So the report, Matthew, here is basically there is a conversation going on about if Barcelona terminates Depay's contract, Manchester United probably go in for him, all depending on what's going to happen with Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, obviously, the reports are Ronaldo will be playing tonight for Manchester United. Could this be his farewell game, Matthew?
As for Cristiano's farewell game, no. I don't see what team's going to take him. The only deal I've heard of recently is one where he goes to Napoli in a potential swap deal with Victor Osimhen, but we pay a rather large fee on top, plus cover a big percentage of Cristiano's wages. That's just on a financial level undoable, and I doubt it's going to happen. I think it's unrealistic. Now, as for Depay, if he's a free agent, I would take him back. We are lacking in that through the middle forward options. We've had to play Rashford there, and he had a good game against Liverpool because it kind of played to his strengths because they play high line. But against Southampton, it didn't really offer us much because he couldn't use his pace to get beyond that. Now Depay offers us something different in that option. And we've seen with Marshall, he does have his injury problems, as well as that Cristiano's 37. he's not going to be able to play every game, and so you are going to have to rest and rotate him. So I would bring Depay back if he's a free agent. I think Eric can get the best out of him. I think we've got a better squad now, and I think that'll help him. Also, I think he's got his head screwed on a bit more. I think when he came to us, he was a tad bit young, a tad bit inexperienced in playing for a big team. And he was had a bit of a showman attitude. We all heard stories about what Rooney done to him when he turned up at the Carrington in the car. And I think, though, bringing the pay back now, he's a bit older, he's a bit wiser. I would go for it, especially if he's going to cost nothing. I doubt we're going to spend any more money this window. You have to look at what options are out there now and how much we've got left. There's very little. I mean, I don't think we'll make another signing this window, to be honest. I think we've actually done our final bit of business with Antony. Omundi?
Sorry, I was going to go to Rebel next. So Rebel's got the script. Rebel is our correspondent from Manchester today.
Well, Manchester via Ireland, as they say, is where I'm corresponding from at the moment. But in regards to the deals that are done, I know you mentioned Antony being our last, but it actually won't be our last because the goalkeeper is yet to be fully announced at this point. So he will be, if there are no new signings to come in, it'll actually be the Braverick that will be our final signing of this window. However, Fabrizio Romano in the last 20 minutes did tweet a Depay update. There are no advanced talks with Chelsea, as now they are focused completely on Aubameyang. Memphis is closer to staying than leaving, but it's still a long day. Termination of contract is ready, but will only activate in the case that Depay agrees a deal with another club. So essentially, if Depay can agree contract situations with a new club, he will be let go from Barca, and they have all the ducks in a row in that front. And there is a reason why Depay would be an attractive signing for Ten Hag at Manchester United, I think, and that is the depth chart. He would not be getting ahead of either Sancho or Antony. We know this. However, Rashford has been flaky so far. We need to see more performances from him. And Elanga, at this point, is still green and learning his trade. So, as an experienced head, he could offer a bit of squad depth and some rotatory options for Ten Hag. So, as an option and as a deal, if there's only a contract to be negotiated, it is something that is very feasible that could be got across the line in a matter of hours, subject to medical.
Okay, Omundi.
Yeah, I think Depay, I said the other day, I think he'd be a good addition to the side. I think he's a top-class player. You look at his credentials, he's done it all. At Lyon, smashed it. #1 player at Lyon for a long time. That's why Barcelona went in for him. He's done well at Barcelona when presented with the opportunities, and now he's at a stage where he's apparently could be scrapping his contract at Barca if, we don't know, it's a long day, as Romano says, but it could be scrapping his contract if he gets an indication that Man United might want him or another side might want him. He's a good player, man, and I think he'd be a great addition as a number 9. I don't think he'll be playing wide anymore. He's shown enough now that he's adapted his game. It's typical, these wingers turning into forwards, centre forwards. We've seen it with Omri, we've seen it with Bergkamp as well. These guys play wide, learn the position, and end up being really good in the central areas, and I think he's another one to add to that. Him and Martial going forward with Ronaldo maybe will give us a lot of strength and depth playing with our front forward line, And as you mentioned, the other guys, want to throw in Garnacho as well. He's still at the club. He could have a little cameo later on in the season. And we've got Elanga, we've got Sancho, we've got Antony now, we've got Rashford, and all these guys can play wide and playing in that wonderful forward line that's going to score numerous goals, I believe, and create a lot of chances under Ten Hag. One bonus as well, that Depay is Dutch. I know we've got the Dutch effect going. It's double Dutch everywhere we see now at our club, but it's beneficial for us because he will know how to play, and it will be a smooth transition into learning the role. So I think Depay, I know people are critical of him because of his reputation, but that's not on the football pitch. No one said anything as yet to say, oh, we don't want Depay because he's not good enough or he's not a good player. No one's saying that. They're saying maybe to his attitude, his rap career, driving flash cars like Matt indicated there for Rooney. And there's a lot of things that got nothing to do with its actual footballing ability. So if you can get a manager that can get the tune out of him, I would definitely be taking him.
Yeah. Before we go to the comments, I just want to go to Matthew and just ask him any final roundup before I get Rebel to go in. Anything else to add to that about Depay?
No, not really. If you look at it, I think it's older. I think it's wise. I think it's actually calmed down a bit now. It was a tad bit erratic when he first came, and I think Eric can get the best out of him, and he gives us a different option through the middle. No, we talk about Marshall being injured. He's not going to play tonight because he's out injured again. So that means we've got Ronaldo, but we've got no viable options to swap Ronaldo with. If we could bring in Depay for nothing, then it gives us an option in that forward area. And you have to look at how much money we've got left to spend, or how little. I mean, I'm not sure what we've got left on our financial level to spend. I don't know if we've gone over budget, if we've still got a bit to spend or not. But I doubt we've got a lot to spend. And when you can bring in a player for free, and on the basis of doing a rebuild, it's not a bad option to bring Depay back in. He can play left, he can play through the middle. He's a decent little player. I'm not sure why certain fans are against bringing him in. When you look at where we are as a club and the overall project with Eric, and that you're going to have to make adaptations very early on. And if it means bringing in a player for free, but it gives us a good squad option, then you have to do it. We're not going to fully rebuild the squad overnight or in 1 or 2 transfer windows. You've got to adjust accordingly to how much you spend when it comes to buying and selling. We've overspent quite big on Antony, so that means we've lost a lot more money than what we thought we would when addressing that area of the pitch. Now, Depay comes in as a free agent. He offers us some good in that area because he's a good squad player. He also can play off the left, so we could alternatively put Rashford through the middle in certain games and play Depay off the left.
Yeah. So I'm going to, before we go to the comment, I'm going to second that as well, Matt. I think a lot of fan base I think they're looking at the past rather than the future right now. And you are right in saying Man United, we're at a level right now where we're not competing for titles. We're not competing for any major honor whatsoever. There's a rebuilding process. So with the rebuilding process, if we can have an experienced player coming in who has gone all across Europe, learning his trade. Yes, he was with Manchester United, but now it's almost like he's mature. And I think he just wants to come back, if he can, come back to Manchester United to right all the wrongs, what he did when he was younger. So, sort of like the flash cars, the flash jackets or whatever, is settled down, matured. And it's about giving him opportunity and giving him a chance to come in and basically could even help Man United push. If we win Europa League, we'll win Europa League with him there. At least he add that little bit of experience with the players as well. And he might be a player who's very good to be around now with the young players in the squad in the changing room.
Absolutely.
Rebel.
And I actually have some breaking news. It's not Manchester United related, but it is Brazilian related. It looks like Leicester City are on the verge of signing Marcelo on a 1-year deal. Another player that's very familiar to us.
Wow.
But with regards to matters, Manchester United, it's also looking like Cover, the young goalkeeper, is going to be kept rather than loaned. So maybe Ten Hag and the coaching staff have identified something in him. So Cover looks likely to remain at Old Trafford. However, Tuanzebe and Jones are waiting possible late deals to leave Old Trafford, it would seem, according to some media sources. But Cover to remain, and Jones and Tuanzebe possibly to leave before the window shuts.
Okay, so I'm going to hit this comments from here, and anything I highlight, Rebel, you can have a look at.
Okay. Abby Deslo, I think he's new enough to the channel, but hello, how are we doing?
Says, welcome to the channel.
Please, I want Griezmann is better for United. Anthony Martial is out, so he's saying go for Griezmann, and he would command a massive salary and would need a lot of persuading for Letty to give him to us. So, interesting comment there on that. Del Boy saying Depay is a United shouldn't go near him. I'm doing my best Omundi impersonation today. MUFC saying, if Juventus or Barcelona don't think he's good enough, why would we see him as useful? Hacker is saying, United does not have the option to skip, so he feels that Depay and a free essentially is a no-brainer. And there's a lot of Manchester United fans on Twitter now that are getting their heads around, well, free, fair enough. Andy Williams is saying, afternoon, boys, any news?
Afternoon.
There's always news when the Man United agenda is about, so stay tuned. Mehdi is saying to us, okay, he's talking about the owners, and he wants them gone, so Mehdi's making his views clear. Mark is saying, Depay is Pogba light, all trouble, half the talent. Eric has no such policy for entertaining that kind of behaviour. Hacker again is saying, but I think he stays. Bright Red is gone, Alba is leaving, and I think the nice weather will make him want to stay at Barcelona. Mehdi's saying again, deadline day, don't think we buy anyone. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there, but he's still excited. And Anthony Herbert is in the building.
Pick up Anthony. Anthony's winding me up, by the way. Yeah, it's a wonder for me.
Yep. I was going to drop the grenade, but you're not buying it. And Andrew Williams again. Problem with Depay is, how do we keep Luke Shaw focused on football with him in the dressing room? So he's saying that Depay would be maybe a bit of a disruptive influence on the dressing room. And Mark Evans saying, Phil Jones leaving Wesley. So he's basically saying the likelihood of Phil Jones leaving is as much as us finally signing Wesley Sneijder.
Oh God, Bill is saying, and pigs fly as well over the rainbow. Also, there is news about Gepto as well. He's going to be staying at PSV. He's not going to be leaving anytime soon. So there was a transfer that apparently, well, United are after him, but Southampton did put in a bid for him as well, and that was also rejected. And so that's where we're at the moment.
I think the only thing with that is, at least then next season, you could say, if we wanted to change another one of our inside forward line, Gapco is still there and still an option.
I suggest we watch him in the Europa League. They're in Arsenal's group, aren't they? Be interested to see how he fares. We can get a closer look at him.
100%. Yeah, agreed. Right. So, was that all our transfer building? Any more to go through, Rebel?
I'm looking here, and there is no further speculation, but Sky, The Telegraph, and a bunch of other people are saying, keep an eye out, because it ain't over till it's over. But I will say one more time, if Frenkie de Jong, having flown to London and pretty much stayed within spitting distance of United's offices, does go back to Barcelona, he's performed the absolute ultimate media hype shithousery that I've ever seen, and deserves an absolute pat in the back for what he's done for media and media outlets for this window.
All right.
Well, one more point I want to make. And it's not about our club, but I just want to say credit to Newcastle United. It was a really good game yesterday, and they brought Isaac into their team, and he is a focal point striker. I watched his game yesterday in the Premiership. Forget what happened in Sociedad or Dortmund or Sweden. He's a very, very good player. Hold up the ball, very tall, strong as well, very intelligent. Even like his little pass backs to playing his back to goal, getting in behind, cutting man in half. He scored 2 goals in my opinion. The second one was offside. He's someone who I feel would perform really well for us. We haven't missed a trick. I just think it's unfortunate, but that's a player to look out for. I think he's very, very good player as a focal number 9, and maybe number 9 is coming back in fashion. What we've seen with Haaland and him in the league now. So yeah, keep an eye on this guy. This guy's very good, I believe.
Actually, speaking, as you mentioned Haaland, can I just come in and mention that the same Haaland is 25% of the way to the record of Premier League goals in a season already after just 5 games, and he has done back-to-back hat-tricks in the Premier League faster than any other player in Premier League history. and he also was the fastest player to ever get a brace in the Premier League yesterday. So he's setting records left, right, and centre already. So just want to acknowledge the quality of the player.
Yeah. Right, let's go and let's ask Matty. Any other business for you, sir?
No other business, not yet anyway. Obviously, transfer deadline day, anything can happen. Don't rule out surprise moves, not just with Man United, but with any team in general. There's always one general surprise move towards the end of the window. I don't think this window will be any different.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll second that as well. Omundi, any other business for you?
Well, I'm in the business of the Man United agenda, and I'm just curious, am I going to get sold before the transfer window's done to another channel? I don't know. Or are you bringing in anyone else in? Let me know now so I can pack my bags.
Well, I think Matthew there, you can't see him on screen, but I think he went out today. I think he's shopping around at the moment at Poundland for a yellow tie. Man United.
But yeah,
business,
sorry.
isn't it?
Sorry,
Poundland.
can I just say, yeah, guys, we're delivering, man. I really like this show. A lot of information, fully packed with transfer information. It doesn't end here, does it, guys? We're going to be going throughout the day. On a match day as well, we have to cover everything. So make sure you tune into the Man United agenda, guys.
Yeah. And Rebel, sir, any other business for you?
Not transfer related, but it is match related. We are playing Leicester this evening, and we have a live watch along, of course, on the Man United agenda, while they'll also be keeping an eye on any possible breaking transfer news. But my business is to ask Matty who he thinks will start today that we haven't seen so far, and the final scoreline.
Hold on, sorry. Can you guys, can you get your predicted scoring as well? There's 21 watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe if you're new to the channel, and put your score prediction in, what you think United will win tonight, if we'll win or draw or lose. Go on, Matty.
I'm hoping to see Casemiro make his debut. I want to see him and Eriksen in the double pivot.
Woo!
With Bruno slightly in front.
Woo!
Wow.
And your
Don't
scoreline?
answer too much, do you, Matthew?
Scoreline. I think 3-0 Man United.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah, I look at Leicester and they're a team that are regressing. They've spent no money this season. They've recently lost Fofana. I think it's more fan rumour about Rodgers walking away. But they're a team that are going backwards, not forwards.
Oh, wow.
Actually, speaking of Brendan Rodgers, Matty, I'm going to throw out the question. Obviously, we already had the first second of the Premier League season in Scotty Parker, but the aforementioned Brendan Rodgers, plus Steven Gerrard and Lampard, are all firmly in the mix for next to the chop. Who do you see getting themselves out of a hole, and who do you see getting told, head down the road?
I think Gerrard will get out of the hole. He's got a good squad at Villa, and I think the Villa owners will be patient. Lampard's the one I'm concerned about. I look at Everton. They've lost key players. They've not really replaced them. They've not replaced Richarlison. For me, he was their best player and their most influential player. I think Lampard at Everton is going to really struggle this season.
Wow. Go on, sorry. I think we got some comments as well going. So Matty is saying 3-0. Amanda, what are you saying tonight score? You already gave it already, so.
Apparently he's Monday's signing for Stephen Fleetley TV for £2.
we have got him actually. We have got him this Friday on as well. Actually, we have got him on. He's with us this week.
You're gonna have to drag me there. I'll be biting and kicking.
Yeah, exactly. Quick one. We are going to wrap up now, but as what Rebel said earlier, just make sure you tune into the watch along tonight. We are going to be jumping on and off the watch along, interrupting Mr. TalkMU and Mr. B as they're doing the live watch along. So I think on Monday might be jumping on. Rebel, Matty, just look, there might be a few surprises as well. Who's jumping on and off that stream tonight, just to keep you guys in a loop. So if anything breaks, it will be there. For me tonight, I think Ronaldo will start tonight. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. We haven't beaten Leicester City in the last 5 meetings. I believe, if I'm right to say, we're drawn 2, lost 3. So it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be a difficult game. Leicester are a weakened team, but at the same time, you can't sort of walk in. I think to be honest with you, against Brentford and against Brighton as well, I think players probably went in and just sat there and thought, oh, we're going to walk that walk. It's a walk in the park. So, you know, let's chill. And we absolutely got turned over. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Actually, just to give my 2 cents on the Leicester game, I do want to say that Fofana leaving, big defensive blow to them. Tielemans currently is the subject of bids from multiple clubs by all accounts. So will he be settled for that game tonight? Or how will his mental attitude be, knowing that he possibly could be making a deadline day move? How will that affect Leicester City's performance? So there are multiple reasons why Manchester United should get a result tonight against Leicester. And I'm going to actually go big or go home. I'm saying 4-0.
Oh, Lord. Wow. We got some scoreline here, though. Let's get through the scoreline quickly. I think I've highlighted them quickly.
Yeah, let's hit these out there now. We've got Bill Baggio, 2-2. Hijacker, 3-0. Cullum, 2-1. Emma Kay, 3-0. And of course, Ola Cunley, the resident Liverpool fan, Leicester got a hurry up, 3-1.
3-1, yeah. So, yeah. But listen, guys, it's been absolutely brilliant as always. But like I said, we are going to go live tonight from 7:30 p.m. tonight, I believe. Yeah, 7:30. We are going live tonight, and it's going to go straight through until about 10:30 p.m. So make sure you tune in, show your support, give us a like, share, and subscribe. And guys, we have got members.
A small bit of late breaking news. It's in regards to Arsenal. They made a £20 million bid for Douglas Luiz.
Oh wow! Yeah,
they need that. Guys, just quickly, they're playing us on Sunday. Partey's out, El Nene's out, I think injured, and it's just Odegaard got injured yesterday again. So they're really struggling for centre midfielders, and I think we should be more confident of giving them some lash when they come. Ain't they right, Antony Herbert? There'll be a big build up to Arsenal, because obviously Arsenal are playing well at the moment. They're 5-0, and they're coming to Old Trafford just like Liverpool did. So confidence is high. They're a bit weak. They've got injury problems, so that could be advantage Man U.
Yep, fingers crossed. And Vincent is saying 3-0 Man United. Crystal Lovers. So,
very good.
Yep, so brilliant, guys. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in. We've had some newbies on as well, so hopefully we get to see you soon again, guys. Just make sure you check out the Money Agenda, set the notification bell as well. We have got membership as well, but we are going to be working out the membership package to make sure to get some of you fans on to have your say on the Money Agenda.
Actually, sorry, Sola, can I just plug Full Time Sports Network, our sister channel that covers the NFL, boxing, and any sport that you can think of. Plus, also will be the home of the fantasy football focus from now on, because we do want to get all fan bases putting their thoughts in. So, if you could give the Full Time Sports Network, come there on the screen, that channel a follow, that would be fantastic.
Brilliant. So, guys, from us, I have been Solo, Rebel,
see ya,
Omundi, and Matthew.
Later. Big up, Matty.
Today. So, guys, from us tonight, have a good day. So, Matty.
Yep,
you can hear us. Yeah, no, I was saying to everyone, shouting your name out as well. So, guys, from us tonight at the Money Agenda, see you tonight at 7:30 p.m. Good night. Good evening, should I say? Evening.